G'day leaders. In this episode we discuss gratitude and how it is linked to happiness and longevity. Enjoy. Why did it count backwards? I know that we're now recording.
What? Hello, Captain.
What do I...
Come fly with me. Let's fly away.
What are we going to talk about?
I don't know. So, leadership, life, and everything else.
Yeah.
And we're live in Malaysia.
No, we're in Malaysia, but we're not live.
We're recording in Malaysia.
Yes.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi, Guy.
How cool is it that we get to be here, working here?
How good is life?
I know. And we just did a cooking class.
Yes.
And learnt to cook 2 dishes.
Yes, rendang and a prawn curry.
Beef rendang.
Yes.
And prawn curry, and oh my goodness, we got to eat it afterwards, and it was
very
amazing.
Full.
Yes, too full. Why are we doing a podcast on a very full stomach? But it made us think about how grateful we are, and so we thought we'd do a podcast on the science of gratefulness.
Yeah, gratitude.
Gratitude, yeah,
absolutely.
Because it's a powerful emotion, and it can have a really positive impact on our lives.
And being grateful can apply to the past, the present, and the future.
So grateful for what's happened in the past, grateful for where you are now, and grateful for things that are coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also you receive gratefulness when people show gratitude towards you.
Yeah.
So you can be grateful for things, and people can be grateful for you.
Absolutely.
It's got an interesting origin, gratitude, in humans. We had to learn gratitude. So obviously we're not the biggest, strongest animals out there in the forest or out in the savannah, and so we had to learn to work together. And the scientists say that we learnt gratitude to show gratitude to other people, which would then trigger reciprocation. So if I did something for you, you'd do something for me. Would that then builds a bond, and we get to work together? And without that gratitude, so if I did something for you and you weren't grateful, I don't want to do it again. Yeah, so the origin of gratitude is to build feelings of or to trigger reciprocity between humans so that we work together.
Wow, it still applies, actually.
It does, doesn't it?
When you do things for people and they don't necessarily
say thank you.
Yes.
You don't want to do it again, do
No,
you?
yeah. That's right.
Yeah, so when you go out to a fancy restaurant and the people with you.
Yes.
Yeah, we won't go down that path. And there's been lots of studies into the power of being grateful, about how it benefits you. So have you read any studies about gratefulness and how it relates to certain things?
Yes. So I know that it leads to increased happiness.
Yes.
So just the I'm going to call it the art of being grateful. So appreciating what you have, where you are, where you've been, contributes to the personal mental state of happiness.
Yeah. So you can imagine, like, the last time you were extremely happy, more often than not, it's related to the experience that you're having, and generally something nice is happening, and you feel grateful for it, and that triggers the happiness.
That's right. And then when you have that memory again, you
can bring it back up.
That's right. And you feel happy again. The smell, the sound, the taste.
Yeah. So I've read studies that show that that grateful people tend to fall asleep faster. Okay. They have better quality sleep, and they're less fatigued during the day.
I need to get some more gratitude on, I think.
I think you've been telling yourself you're a bad sleeper ever since you were a pilot, because you were always worried about not waking up on time.
True. I only ever slept through the alarm once.
Once? And what happened on that day?
Well, I had to catch a cab to the airport after everyone else, of course. So, yes, it made me paranoid.
I can imagine. Yeah. So walk me through that. So you're an airline captain, and you know that you're the one at the pointy end flying the plane, so that would put, no doubt, a bit of a fear in you that you're not going to wake up on time.
Waking up to the sound of crewing calling you is not pleasant.
I could imagine it wouldn't be. And I think that is the origin of your not great sleep.
Possibly.
Yeah. Well, you're not flying now, Michelle.
No.
You should be grateful and you'll get better sleep.
That's right. Yes.
You don't have to wake up and, and be at the pointy end of a big metal tube and get everyone there safely.
True. I am very grateful.
Yeah.
So, I know you've got some more things about gratitude.
Yeah. No, I love because I'm constantly talking to the kids about this, about being grateful and doing a list of things that you're grateful for. But so many studies, over the last 10, 20 years, there's been a lot of studies into gratefulness, and it's been linked to better heart health, things like lower blood pressure, reduces inflammation. What else does it do? Reduces depression, because obviously it triggers happiness.
Yeah.
Increased self-esteem.
Oh, yes.
And I'm trying to find the link there, because I do a lot of work on confidence and self-esteem and the how to build it, how to achieve it. And I'm trying to find where the self-esteem comes from. And I guess...
Could it be with happiness that maybe smiling or a brighter outlook, which... physically you are more upright and therefore you have the confidence and self-esteem, maybe?
Yeah, okay. I see where you're going there. I like that. Because if you think about it, when you're grateful, you're saying, hey, I've got everything I need. I've got what I want.
Yes.
You're developing a mindset of an abundance mindset.
The cup runneth over.
The cup runneth over. I like that. And so when you have that mindset that your cup runneth over, you have everything you want, you have everything you need. Subconsciously, your brain is now thinking, well, I'm safe. I've got everything I need. So why stress now?
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're always worried, you're clawing for what you don't have, and you've got a scarcity mindset, that then tells your subconscious that you're in danger because there's something that's missing or lacking from your life. So you then stress, probably to give you the energy to go out and get what it is that you're lacking, and so that then leads to those feelings of depression, and the opposite of feeling satisfied and happy.
Well, I read a quote by Michael J. Fox saying that with gratitude, optimism is sustainable.
Oh, I like that. I love his mindset. Like, you see him in interviews, and obviously he's been... how long has he had Parkinson's now for? It's quite some time.
Yeah, I remember seeing him in the 80s in Family Ties.
Yes.
But,
he's a fantastic... I loved him in a movie. The movie's name will come to me.
Back to the Future?
Secret of My Success or something. Did you remember that one? Was it The Secret of My Success? Where he clawed his way up from the mailroom in a company all the way up to... Anyway, great Michael J. Fox movie. Anyway.
Right.
but he's got a very positive outlook on life. He's very grateful, and you can tell it comes across in the interviews.
Optimism can be hard to sustain if you're surrounded by naysayers or things aren't going as well as what you wanted, or so it can be challenging on your mindset. But then if you keep thinking about what you're grateful for, that will keep you on track.
Yeah, and that's why they say that you've really got to be careful about the people you surround yourself with, because if you surround yourself with the naysayers, like you say, you become one of them. You get dragged into the environment that you spend a lot of time in. So I love the fact that we surround ourselves with positive people. We've got some very positive friends and positive neighbours who lift you up.
Yeah.
And when you surround yourself with people who lift you up rather than drag you down, you can be... It's easy to feel grateful, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the power of gratitude, it changes your default attitude. So, you meet some people and they're constantly down, like glass is half empty. Then if you have practiced gratitude daily or weekly, monthly, whenever you can, then your default attitude is one of optimism and gratitude rather than looking for the worst.
Can you remind me, we'll come back to this later. Well, actually, we'll talk about it now, about the frequency of gratitude. I have in the past tried to do gratitude on a daily basis, like write down a list of things that you're grateful for. And I found doing it daily a chore. But when you do it every week or every 2 weeks.
Frequently.
If you do it frequently, but not daily, it becomes easier because you've actually got more to think back on, more to go back on. But if you do it every day, you go, oh, what happened today? And it almost becomes like a chore. And I recently read that is the case, that they've shown that people who try to do gratitude daily struggle. People who do it weekly find it really easy because you've got a whole 7 days to think about.
It's important, though, not just to wait for major milestones to be grateful. So appreciate the fact that, you've had a whole week of eating dinner at the table with the kids, or, you got to go sailing or whatever it is. That just not that sailing's an everyday thing, but just all the things that you do, you're able to do it. My daughter just got her braces off, so
she'll be very grateful for that. I remember when I got mine off. That's a big day in a young child's life. Well, I had it done in my 20s. Yeah, but it's if you maybe even set aside a day in the week that becomes your grateful day. Yeah. I don't know, Fridays, Sundays.
Yeah. A lot of people grateful that it's Friday.
Well, we're coming up to the holiday seasons, and that tends to be when most people show their gratitude and etc. But
it can also be a time, especially in the holiday season, where other emotions come up because there's disappointment, there's loneliness, people can be in a lower state because there's a lot of celebration around, and if they're not in feeling loved or included or with friends, family, that it's a time not to be celebrated. And I did read a piece where it says that if you feel gratitude, it kind of squashes other emotions. It's very hard to feel sad and grateful at the same time.
You can't actually feel negative and positive emotions at the same time. So if you're feeling gratitude, then all of those other ones can't play. They can't come into the playground. So switching your mind up. But sometimes when you're in those lulls, it can be very difficult, can't it? Because it's almost like you can't find the energy just to even think about something positive, and it's almost like you want to sit there in those doldrums, but it's worth the effort if you can pull yourself into gratefulness and just look at what you're grateful for, because depending on where you live, determines what you can be grateful for. But we live in Sydney, and we are so grateful to be living in that beautiful city.
And grateful to. We joke with the kids, we outslept the assassins. They didn't get us overnight, and we woke up.
Have you ever had a job or even a relationship where you didn't feel as though the other person was grateful for you, or that they took you for granted, the opposite of being grateful?
Yes.
And the impact that it has.
It drains you.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. So if you're in a job and it just doesn't feel as though you're appreciated, which is the form of showing gratitude, showing appreciation, then it can be a huge demotivator, especially if you're putting in a lot of effort and it's gone unnoticed.
I've worked for 2 airlines, and the first airline, the staff did not feel any gratitude towards them at all. Their language around it was very negative.
They weren't grateful to the company, is what you're saying?
No, the company wasn't grateful to the staff.
Okay.
And so it gets quite oppressive. You don't hang out in the crew room because people
but you should be lucky to work with us, sort of thing, that sort of mindset.
Then they what staff were actually doing were going out of their way to cost the company more and it really was toxic. Whereas then the second airline was showed gratitude to their staff in different ways. Now, it may not be the same way that different people appreciate gratitude shown in different ways. So cupcakes might not be for everyone. But, bottles of wine.
We speak a lot about cupcakes.
I'm not a fan of the cupcake as a signal at workplaces, but the, bottles of wine, tickets, staff tickets,
so
or small rewards, even a little note in a pigeonhole, or a shout out to somebody is a makes you feel, and we've spoken about this before, makes you feel included, makes you feel valid, and you are grateful. And you always want to give more than you pay back.
Well, there's a study that I read once about they were raising money for a university, I believe. So in this study, the people leading the study and the people who are leading those people who are doing the fundraising, the people who received gratefulness from their leader, from the person in charge, over the next week made 50% more fundraising calls just through the act of somebody coming up and saying, hey, great effort, thank you so much, really grateful for what you've done. And they also showed them how what they did contributed to, so how it connected to purpose.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the double barrel, isn't it? If
that's
you
right.
show how people are contributing to something bigger than their role, and you show appreciation for what they're doing, as per this study, they made 50% more effort in the next week. So it's simple to do. Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Great effort this week. And what you did contributed to this. So thank you so much. You're very valued. How hard is that? But yet how infrequently is it done in a lot of organisations?
I think my personal opinion is that there's ego at play, and potentially they're not leaders, they're managers, and nothing against a manager as such, but it's a position given by authority. And they are worried that if they encourage others, somehow the others will overtake them. Yeah. So they will lose their position.
Which
That's
is
my personal...
a strange mindset, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. There's also evidence that gratefulness increases as we get older.
I can appreciate
We're more likely to be grateful as we get older. And as I'm getting older, I could understand that.
Yes.
You know, your time is limited on this planet, and so you start to become more grateful. And then as a result, you start to, build those strong bonds with other people. And there's a real connection between your social network and longevity. If you've got a strong social network, and you build strong social networks through gratefulness and reciprocity and looking after each other. As we get older, if you've got a strong social network and you've got a group of people that you can lean on, you'll live a lot longer. There's a lot of evidence that we need a social network as we age, because it makes you feel like you belong, gives you a sense of purpose, and those people who show more gratitude tend to have stronger and bigger social networks.
Yep.
When I say bigger, not necessarily bigger in number, but they've got, that robustness in their social network.
Yeah.
And you think about places like the blue zones around the world, where they tend to live more in villages and communities where they kind of know each other, and they've got this social network.
That's right. They all help each other, the community.
Yeah, and they get together and they share cooking and food and resources, and they look after each other. They do their daily walk up to the local cafe and sit down and say hello to the people that they know, and I've got a feeling that's connected. That's created through their connections. That longevity is created through their connections, which makes them feel happy, makes them feel content, and so they live a longer, happier life.
And the good thing is that I'm noticing as I'm getting older.
But you're such a spring little chicken, tiny you are. So short.
You're funny. Is that I?
Well, you are short. I'm sorry, I looked down on you. From
You're
a
a giant,
from a height perspective.
I tend to need less to feel gratitude as well.
As you get older?
Yes.
Yeah.
So less stuff. It's more the experience and
I'm
the
getting
people.
that now too. I'm starting to want to really let go of stuff and just have experiences, collect experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because why do we need all that stuff?
That's it.
Just seems to weigh you down, doesn't it?
That's right. You just got to move it around when you clean.
Or when you move.
Now, one other thing is that what we do is New Year's Eve, rather than resolutions about what you're going to do.
Yeah, no, they never work.
No.
This year I'm going to quit drinking. Cheers!
Is that we look back on the last year and we have gratitude. We take stock of what we've achieved and what has happened, what we've done.
What we've received.
Yes. And it takes all night into the next day to go through it, because that feeling, and the more you remember, the more grateful you are, and then even little things start to come up.
Yeah. And just reminisce. Reminisce and be grateful. That's the secret, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
All right, so how do we tie this podcast up in a nice little bow and gift it to people? But before we do that, can I just say I'm very grateful for you, Michelle, because without you, this podcast would not have got off the ground, would not exist.
Oh, thank you, Guy. I'm very grateful for you. Because
thank you very much.
Would be very boring with just me.
And we're live. No, we're not. Yes, we are, Guy. No, we're not, Guy. Or Michelle. It would be a strange podcast talking to yourself.
That's it.
Yeah, there's a couple of great comedians who do it. They just get on a microphone and just rant, but they're not talking to themselves. They're talking to their audience. Anyway, I'm very grateful for you. And how do we wrap this up?
Oh.
Be grateful.
Yes.
Yes. Don't try not to do it daily as like a list. Don't make it a chore, but just make it part of your everyday thinking. Oh, I'm so grateful. because if you stand at the sink while you're washing the dishes, instead of going, oh, this is a chore, and you can start to think about why you're grateful that you're standing there doing dishes. It changes everything.
I get to do the dishes.
I get to do the dishes. Because I've got dishes. I've got dirty dishes, which means that I just had a meal. I'm very grateful that I just had a meal, and I'm grateful because I didn't have to go and hunt for that meal. Or, you could go on and on and on. You could link all your gratefulness to a whole chain of things that you can be grateful for. Yeah, it's a much better way to live.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Bollinger, where are you?
That's right. We'd be very grateful.
We'd be very grateful if you sponsored us. Look, we've just spoken about gratefulness. We're very good at this. Lint. Bows.
Grateful, gratitude.
Yeah, we'll be very grateful if you reached out. Merch, if you want some Captain and the Clown merch, we've got t-shirts and caps on our website, captainandtheclown.com, with our motto, more dogs.
Yes.
Because we think the world will be a better place with more dogs. Yes. All right. Great to see you again, Michelle.
Thanks, Guy.
Take care. Bye.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
You're such a clown.
The clown.
Lady Captain.
There we go. And who's going to listen to this? Maybe our mums.
Thanks, Mum.